Amendment that I have offered, amendment number 2905, that was co-sponsored by Senators Sununu, Senator Kerry, Senator Harkin, and Senator Brown. And Mr. President, this amendment addresses a problem that is huge, that is going to continue to grow in coming years, and something that the United States Congress must address. And that is that all across our country, veterans of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan are going to come home with what we believe to be very high levels of post-traumatic stress disorder as well as traumatic brain injury. These are the signature injuries of the war in Iraq. And I worry very much that we are not yet prepared to address this serious problem, which not only impacts the returning soldiers, impacts their wives, their kids, and their communities. Mr. President, the amendment that I have offered would develop a pilot program for state-based outreach to assist service members and their families. The concern that I have is that those who return home with TBI or PTSD are not going to be able to get the care that they need unless somebody makes contact with them and makes them aware of services and help that might be available to them. So we could have all of the money that we want allocated to addressing TBI or PTSD, but unless somebody goes out and brings those people into the system, that money is not going to do any good. And I worry about that, especially for those returning soldiers who are in the National Guard, who are not part of the active duty, who do not have a military infrastructure in front of them. I worry about soldiers coming home to small towns in Vermont and all across this country who suddenly find that their world is very, very different than the world that they left, that they have nightmares, that they have cold sweats, that they have panic attacks when they go through a tunnel, and that they don't know how to address those very serious symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. And what this amendment does uniquely is it creates an outreach effort by which trained personnel from the National Guard or elsewhere are literally going to go out and knocking on doors and chatting with the individual soldier, returning soldier, and his or her family, and get a sense of what is going on in the family, letting those veterans understand that what they are experiencing is something that is being experienced by tens of thousands of other soldiers, and that there's nothing to be ashamed of about the kinds of problems that that individual is having. So the essence of this program is its nature as an outreach effort, not to sit back, but to aggressively go out, knock on doors, have dialogue, and bring people into the system which might be able to help them. Mr. President, I would point out that this amendment is supported by the National Guard Association of the United States, and they have pointed out that this amendment, with its unique emphasis on outreach, is a perfect complement to the reintegration and readjustment policies laid out by the Yellow Ribbon Program in the previously adopted Chambliss Amendment to the Defense Authorization Bill. So, Mr. President, this is a very strong amendment, and I look forward to having support on both sides of the aisle for it. If we are serious about addressing the problems of PTSD and TBI, we have got to be aggressive in outreach, and that is what this amendment does. Mr. President, I would yield back my time, and thank you.
Who seeks recognition?